look beautiful. Okay, so I am going to start, and thank you very much. This is today online selling webinar, and I really want to thank all of the hosts for hosting this webinar today. So who the heck am I? No, no, that's not it yet. So today what we're going to be doing is like what e-commerce solution should you choose, and some of the thought process around that, and then how to get it found. So you've got it on e-commerce, now what? So that's the last part of the presentation. The first part is kind of the process you go through to set it up. And Diane, before we start, what time are we ending at? Are we ending
we are
at
12?
So I will try and end at 5 to 12 for questions. Okay.
That would be great.
Okay, or 10 to 12. So
yeah.
I've got a watch on. And you can remind me as well. That would be awesome.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So who am I? I've met many of you, much to my surprise, which was lovely to see. But sometimes I'm presenting these days and we haven't met before. So my undergrad's in computers from University of Windsor. My master's is engineering information systems from Toronto. I worked for Bell many years as an engineer and a sales director. I was a startup on Bay Street. We went public, which was really exciting, very scary, because then we lost all our money as well back in 2000-ish when the bubble burst. So I went from driving a Jag to not having a dime. And anyways, it was interesting. So I learned a lot. I don't think I wouldn't have changed that experience at all. I probably would have invested in many companies that we all know now, though. So since then, and since 2002, I've been running my own company. It was called Sofie Andreou and Associates, but it's now called 123 Digital Power. And 50% of my time I'm hands-on, actually, and that's where it's become a digital marketing agency, where I am doing the social media and marketing for companies like Kawartha TV and Stereo and Knock on Wood, Pan Austin. These are companies in the Peterborough area. And then I become a digital Main Street vendor in the last year or so. And I've been also providing training to digital Main Street squads. But mainly the digital Main Street clients have become part of the people I've been working with, becoming part of their team for a little bit, training them to do it themselves. And that, which brings me to training, which is what we're doing right here. 50% of my time I'm spent training. One of my clients, I think last 6 years, has been Imperial Oil. We do monthly webinars like this for the last 6 years to their locations across Canada. So, and that's been consistent. And I've been working with many communities where I know and love our chambers of commerce in our area, and our economic development teams, our innovation clusters, and this is where Diane and I got to know each other through the relationships we have there. So I'm excited to be here. So I've been working with a tremendous number of humans during COVID. And this is probably just a fourth of them now when I look at this. I started putting them all up here right before the call, and I realized, okay, I'm running out of space. But all that to say is everyone is so very different. Everyone is so different. But I realized I was going through this similar 4 steps with everybody. We were looking at what virtual payment system works best for you is what we were looking at. So everybody is a little different. If you happen to be a retailer currently, a lot of the people I was working with had Main Street businesses where some of them didn't even have a cell phone, but now all of a sudden they've been in business for 30 years. They needed to sell online somehow. So talking you through what current payment system do you have, if you have one, and then does that payment system have a virtual plugin or a virtual offering as well? And many of them did, which was kind of exciting for a lot of these businesses. They didn't realize the payment system they currently used had a virtual payment ability. So that's the first thing you look at. If you don't have a current system, and you're looking at what payment systems should you use, here are some possibilities. From as simple as e-transfer. You wouldn't believe how many companies were just using e-transfer and doing well. One company in specific had the best April they ever had in their entire operations. They had been in business for just 3 years, and all they were getting were e-transfers. So e-transfers has become kind of a norm, which has been interesting. PayPal has also become a norm in businesses that didn't really have an online system. Then there's Square EC, I'm not sure if you're supposed to say it by EWID or ECWID, is an offering that your Trent Hills Chamber is offering, and I'm not sure if the other chambers in the area are, but I checked into it when the team reached out to me, and it's a good offering as well as a payment system. It also, and so I'll talk about that in a little bit in a little while as well. Then there's WooCommerce. If you happen to be a company that uses a WordPress site, WooCommerce is what you'll see many of them are using as far as its system for payment systems. So your website itself, so you look at what physical payment system you currently use. Does it have the ability to have a virtual payment system? And I'll show you what I mean by virtual payment system in a moment as well. And do you have a website currently? Does it have an extension that you can put on it that it naturally can now add a shop? So for example, Wix, if you happen to have a Wix site, it naturally has e-commerce built into it. If you increased what you spend on a monthly package with them, they have one built in. Wibbly had one built in. WordPress had one built in. So that's why I say every single person is different. You kind of take a step back and you look to see, what do I currently have that I like? I don't want to change my whole world. And can I expand what I currently have to sell things online? Which takes me to step number 2. What is it you're trying to sell online? What makes sense? Which of your services or products or digital services do you want to sell online? So we list those items. Which services do you want to sell online? So then from that, you go to, okay, now you have the list and say, okay, this I can sell online. It's a product. So then we look at, how are you fulfilling this product? How are you getting that product from where you currently are or wherever your product currently is to your end client? How are you getting it there? So some clients we went through and we indicated, okay, you know what, this product is a bit heavy. It would cost me more to ship it to them compared to who they have as alternatives in their area. It wouldn't be cost effective by the time I added shipping costs. So then you determine how you're selling it and who are you selling it to. And in some cases, you might decide, I'm only selling it online and delivering it online and shipping it to them online in a certain radius of a certain area. Other items might be lighter, like digital items, where they cost nothing because you're selling them and you're sending them a file. So you can now open up your world a little bit more. So I say a little bit more because it's not really logical to think I'm going to put it online and right away I'm selling it around the world. So you really need to pinpoint the areas you want to sell it to. So that we'll talk about a little bit later in the marketing piece. So what are you selling and how is it you're distributing it? Right now with COVID, there are a lot of clients that we have that they've just opened up their doors to limited traffic, and they're testing that out with the social distancing. They're still offering sidewalk pickups. Some are offering door drops. So everyone has a bit of a different situation. Once again, everyone is different. So you kind of take each service and think, or product, and think, how do I distribute that logically? And there are a lot of companies that have bloomed in the last little while that will help you deliver your products in various locations. Again, it's different in every location. And finally, now you finally get to, okay, so I want to build an e-commerce site. And so as Robert would know, there are many different ways to build your e-commerce site. And here are just a few of them. There's something called Shopify, which I'm going to show you examples of Shopify and when you would need a Shopify store. Something called Wibbly and Square. So Square, a lot of us use Square. Do I have one in front of me? I do. I have everything in front of me. So this is a Square. Some of us had this on our phones for years, where you would put this on your phone and you would be at a convention, which of course you're not going to be at very many going this year, or at a exhibit of some sort, and you're selling one product at a time. That's Square. Fits into your phone. Money goes right into your the credit card is swiped and the money goes right into your bank account, and then it tells you it's cleared, and you can give them the product. Fabulous system. Well, they've expanded their offerings, and they now have joined up with Weebly. Honestly, not sure who owns who, but they joined up with Weebly. So if you had Square, and this is what ended up happening, a lot of the businesses I worked with in the last number of months happened to have Square. They had Square accounts. Their banks were already hooked up to Square. So we created Weebly websites for them, and they were selling online very simply. So it was very exciting to be able to get them operational and selling online. I swear, in some cases it was within 2 hours. It was very exciting. Then there's WordPress, very popular, and you've had someone else create it for you. They've made WordPress easier now, where it's easier to maintain your WordPress site if you've had it updated recently. And they have some really great e-commerce plugins, like WooCommerce is one of them that is a natural one that works with WordPress. Then there's something called Wix, which is another type of website. Happens to be what my website is built on, happens to be what Knock on Wood is built on. So I've built a number of sites. I've built a number of Shopify sites, Weebly sites, WordPress sites, and Wix sites. And they're all very different. If you are a company who has a lot of video content, really heavy in video content, and I would recommend Wix. That's the platform that really does well with heavy video content. So each one is a little bit different. Then there's the one that the Trent Hills Association or Chamber is offering their members. And I don't know all the details. I played with it the other day, and it's a solid platform. It has the ability to build your individual products online and then create a simple website from that. So it's a really good, simple, solid tool as well that you might want to look at if you don't already have one. So once you've created your elements, your specific products online, you know what you want to sell. We create them online, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. Then you're going to want to put them out there. So you put it online, so what? How are they going to find you? And this is what I'm going to show you, what a Facebook shop looks like, how you tag products on Instagram. A big one that most people are not doing properly is your Google listing. Your Google listing has a free place for you to add your products right on Google for free. And I help a lot of businesses create Google ads over the past years. We spent thousands of dollars on Google ads. And I'll tell you, these free Google listings are outperforming the Google ads. So we've started decreasing what we're spending in ads for these free Google listings that end up reaching your clients. And it's a product which goes where? Back to that website you just created. Sweet! And then, of course, you put links in emails. Emails have not died by any stretch of the imagination. So if you have a target audience who is over a certain age, say over 40, that still will actually respond to emails, then you want to be collecting your emails and put in your emails these links. So what I'll be talking about, and it's not here as well, is all of these platforms offer coupon codes. So if you have a product, whether it's in your Weebly or your WordPress or your Wix site or any of the sites, you're able to put your products in, and then decide, you know what, right now I'm selling air conditioners. I'm making that up because we are doing that with anyways, for one of my clients, and we've got a coupon code just for their EVPs, their e-commerce, just for their EVPs, so a list of emails we have. We send that out, and we've gone into the website, the back end, and we've put in a coupon code, and it says, is it a percentage? Is it a dollar amount off? What is it? And which products does it apply to? And you indicate the products, and you put that out in an email saying you are our EVPs. Here's a coupon code, and you'll get X% off these types of products. So they are able to use that coupon code. That now are kind of some of the ways you distribute your products to your clients. So you've got the website, awesome. Now let's get it out there. So let me show you some examples. So this is one where she is a person that does dog training, and I can let you know that she's very good at dog training. So my boys, or girls rather, are trained by her, and my boys were trained by her as well. But this is PayPal. So on PayPal, if you just want to get paid online and you have a PayPal account, you can go into your PayPal account and get a unique URL. Somebody is still online that's making a little bit of noise, but it doesn't disturb me. So you've got the PayPal account, and then you can actually you can make this a link. See the PayPal.me/her company name. You go into your own PayPal account, and you go to where it says request money. You can create your own link. And when you create your own link, you can then send that out to people to get money. So this is how she put that link on Facebook. This was Facebook to start her e-commerce journey. As simple as that. Then she realized, okay, I need a little bit more than just the PayPal links. I need a bit more. So she ended up having Square as a tool that she was already using. So she ended up going into Square and creating individual services. And then she would take that service link, and this is also put on Facebook. So she got the service link, and I'm going to show you how we do that. And then she put it right on Facebook. So in Facebook, someone can see her services because she's got a bunch of groups that she manages. She's very popular on Facebook. People can then purchase her services online. And then she took it a step further. She taught herself, this is all over during COVID, she taught herself how to program WordPress sites. So she went into WordPress and built herself a beautiful site. If you look at it, it is quite nice. And then what she did was you can see it says here, book a consultation or book now. These happen to be out of Square. So Square, this little guy that was meant just to swipe a credit card and collect the money, actually has a fabulous appointment system. And you can book an appointment through Square, and that's the links she's put on her WordPress site. Very interesting. So now everything goes back to Square. It's where her money goes when someone's buying something. It's where they're booking her appointments, and she synced that to her Google Calendar, and everything is going through Square. Happens that it's on a WordPress site, and it works out quite beautifully. What's nice is if you want them to pay for that appointment, what it'll do is click here to pay, and then they can book their appointment. So it puts it all together for you. So it's quite beautiful. This was a person, she's still a person, Lindsay, who has a Edison coffee shop. And of course, she was closed during COVID. And what she wanted to do was just sell coffee, and she would drop it off. So we added, and again, she happened to be using Square, and she had a website, but didn't have access to the website at that time. So all we did was go into Square. We put in, okay, so you can buy coffee, and this is how much it costs. You can select dark beans, and you buy it. She gets a notification right away, and then she indicates, and she delivered it. She does door drops to people's homes. So it was really quite well done the way she did that. I'm just going to move you guys over there. So that was well done. This was another one that she happened to have a Weebly site that she built herself years ago, and she was getting all these direct messages on Facebook to say, okay, because she was catering, building food for Tuesday, food for Wednesday, and you would get in touch with her, but people weren't giving her their address. They weren't saying what time. It was just getting very confusing. So what we did was we went into the back end of Weebly, which happens to be Square, and we built out her Tuesday special, her Wednesday special, and then put a shop online on her website, and now she sells out every week, and from her food that she puts out there through Facebook, so people see it, and then they link back and they buy it on her website. And again, this was done within an hour because she already had her Weebly site. She contacted me at 11 o'clock one day, and she was selling by that evening online, which was so exciting and satisfying. So this one is a little bit more complicated. This one is a Shopify account. And so what happened with Green Street is they happen to have a Wix website. They love their Wix website. but they also have thousands and thousands of inventory. They have a lot of inventory. Who knew? They have pieces and little pieces of parts that for bikes, for e-bikes, for regular bikes, for their essential oils, for their for essential oils and for their yoga stuff. So they have a lot of product and a lot of inventory. So when we were looking into which system would be best for it, and they have SKUs, they have those line bars on their stuff. They wanted something that would scan it in their retail and update their inventory. So they wanted physical inventory merged with their online inventory. They wanted something that could read the barcodes. Shopify was perfect for that. It was perfect for that. So we spoke, I think we got together in October. They actually got the grant from Digital Main Street, which came out. And that grant is supposed to be coming out again this summer, you guys. So you may want to look out for it. They say it's going to be $2,500. So these guys got that grant. We talked and we said, okay, so what makes sense? It ended up being Shopify. And she was saying that she's, because she has we put all of her inventory in there in the back end. We created we took the photos and put those up for her. And she was saying that people are able to go through her inventory. They did a lot of Zoom calls to let people know how they were, which bike might be best for them. And they were able to sell a lot more than they expected. And they got all sorts of new clients because they're putting it out there. So that's really quite exciting. This was just us online. She has her team happens to be her son and her daughter that were in Ottawa at the time. But this is their shop now. If you go on, you click on shop, you'll see there's e-bikes, yoga, and bike repair. They're not buying that online, but it just takes them to the page for that. So Shopify doesn't have that many options to how it looks, but it's got a lot more flexibility and integration to the inventory. So that's how you got to decide. If I've got a lot of inventory and I want to know if someone's bought it online or in my store, I need it to sync, Shopify might be where you want to go. And this is what it looks like in the back end. If you're on Shopify, for example, you're on Shopify in the back end, everyone looks the same when you go in the back end. You have to put in your general details, your payment providers, your checkout. How are people going to check out? Shipping. You got to think, this is where, when you go through my 4 steps, you would have thought of, how am I shipping them the product, or do they come into the store? So all these things you kind of walk through before you set up. And then each one of them, as someone buys something from you in the back end, you are now getting all sorts of great customer information, their name, their address, their emails. If they abandoned a shopping cart, like if they're in the middle of almost buying something and they leave, you can actually set it up where in this marketing area, like I said, each one of these are the same. Meaning if you're in WooCommerce, or if you're in Shopify, or if you're in Stripe, which is the Wix one, or if you're in Square, which is the Wibbly one, they all behave this exact same way. Where if someone abandons your shopping cart, you can actually send them an email saying, thank you for being interested in this product. Can we give you more information? Obviously, you decide what you want to say. So you can follow up with those people that abandoned the shopping cart. Kind of spooky, kind of freaky, but that's how it's done. And they all have analytics, which tells you where they came from, what pages they were on. So it's really cool. But I would also suggest you add your Google Analytics code for free to them. They all do that as well. And they also have a place for your search engine optimization. Most people forget to do that, and I don't know frickin' why. It's like each page needs to have a title and keywords and a description so that Google can find it. So please do that to each page of your website, regardless if it's e-commerce or not. But each one of these behave the same. So this is the back end of Shopify. This is the back end of, can you guess? You won't be able to guess, but it's Wibbly, because you probably might if you knew the Square logo. Oh, and I say it right there. Okay, so I apologize. So the Wibbly back end. So Wibbly, the only difference is here Shopify calls their products products. Wibbly calls their products items. Heaven knows why, or I don't know. Somebody might know why. But the items, so you end up, if I was right, you could see over here, create item. In Shopify, it would say create product. You click on that. It's going to want a product picture. It's going to want a title. It's going to want a description. It's going to want a price. And you have already gone in and you've indicated your your shipping details, your pickup details. Remember that part where I said there's that general part you walk through? You've already done that. Now you're going to upload your items. And guess what? This is the exciting part. Each item has a unique link going to the item you created. So each item has its own website page. Guess what? So you end up taking that website page, and so the item, the URL going to that page, the unique URL going to that page, and that's what you put on Facebook. That's what you put on your Google listing. That's what you put on your email newsletter if you're sending it out saying, hey, we've got a special, click here, and you can buy 3 plant combo succulents. So they all work the exact same way. So if you're just looking for something simple and you happen to already have Square, you can go in there. This is what Square looks like as well, Square and Wibbly. And you're creating your items. Each one has a unique URL. And when you put the Square, which is the payment system, with their unique items, each of your items, then you're creating your Wibbly site, and it automatically brings in all of your items. It says shop now, goes to all of your items. So one of the things we talk about is what categories do you want people to think about when they think about you? So in this case, it's plants, it's plant pots, and it's plant seeds, it's do-it-yourself kits. This is Tiny Greens. In this case, her categories under products were bikes, essential oils, yoga. So you got to think of your categories. And why do you do that? Because you can send someone to just a page that has all of your e-bikes. You can send, but those people might not be interested in essential oils. So this is why categories are important. And when you do step 2 of our process, step 1 was which payment system. Step 2 is which products. You want to think of your products and how you categorize them, because then when you're inputting your inventory or your products or your items, you're saying that's the product title, this is what it looks like, here's the description, here are the keywords, and the important thing, and a lot of people forget that up front, is what category is it? And that really helps you afterwards, so don't forget the category. So this is one that we did for Statement House. And they thought they were going to go with a Wix site when we first met. They weren't sure. She currently had an Etsy site, and Etsy was becoming too expensive, an Etsy account. So this was working together with them to create their Statement House, and ended up Wibbly was what they needed. They were thinking of Shopify as well, but each of their items are one of a kind. So being one of a kind, they didn't have a whole big inventory system that they needed. It was, it's a vintage store, so they get, one dress in or one pair of, shoes in, whatever, purse. So they were able to create that on their own. One thing I forgot, each one of these, as I mentioned, have coupon code abilities. They all also have gift card abilities. So what happens is if someone can buy a gift card to any of these, if it's Shopify, the store for Green Street, whether it's the Wibbly store for Tiny Greens that I showed you a little bit of, or this Wibbly store, you can create your own gift card as well. And so your clients can come, buy the gift card online, give it to someone, and when they come and they check out the shop, it automatically has a blank for the gift card. So it'll automatically allow someone to add the gift card and leverage that. So that's kind of a cool thing. Anyways, this is what they did. Looks quite nice. You can check it out. So this is a Wibbly website is what they ended up with. And this is what the gift card looks like. You can add your own logo to it, and then people can buy it right from your website. And again, each of these platforms allow something like that. So don't forget the gift card. It's kind of cool, if you have the type of, one of you guys had a really neat, your pillow, the pillow company. So, oh my goodness, that would be perfect. Put your Father's Day. You put Father's Day, your picture of you and your dad on the pillow, and then, the gift card out there. So that would be neat. So now, as I mentioned, how are you going to get it out there? A whole bunch of different ways. One way is on Facebook. See this button here on Facebook? That button is a call to action button. The call to action button is just there. When you go into Facebook as the admin, you can change it to not having one, or you can change it to call us now, or you can change it to shop now. So if it's shop now, of course, what are you going to do? You've created your online store. You're just going to have it go to your online, you're going to go right to your online store. So that's kind of cool. So once you create your account, and if your target audience is over 40 and you happen to have Facebook as one of your marketing channels, then you want to add a Shop Now button to Facebook. So don't forget to do that. So you may want to, I'm videoing this whole recording for you, but also I'll be sending through Diane the PowerPoint to you. So in here are some of the prices of some of the different tools I was mentioning. How much Wix costs, how much Shopify costs, how much Wibbly costs, how much the EC Wig costs. So just so that you guys have the pricing. And there's something called a Google listing website that I'm going to share with you as well in a moment. Okay, so now key is you've got your website done, and how do you get found? How do you get found? Well, the most important thing, I think, is your Google listing. So what is this that I'm showing you here? This happens to be Blue Streak Records in Peterborough. What I'm showing you here is their free Google listings website. When you get access to your Google listing, and then from that, you can create a website. You may already have a big website, but at least this allows Google to really know what you're about. And where does it get all its information? It gets it from your Google listing. So you update on Google listing a post. I would suggest you do it once a week or once a month minimum, and it automatically feeds your website that you create on your Google listing. And then what is this? This is an action button on your Google listing. So with them, the get a quote is he wanted an email. So this sends him an email. That's how that's how people request a quote from his Google listing. So, and then what he did was we started his Facebook business page as well at the same time. And you can see right away, he's very popular as far as a business goes. He's been in business for over 30 years. It was his first time being online. He had 700 reach on a couple of the first posts, which was exciting. Then there was Min's Downtown. It's a grocery store. We got him being found when you look for downtown Peterborough groceries, along with Farm Boy, along with Sobeys. He's actually getting found, which is awesome. And what did we do with him? And this is just showing you the back end of your Google listing business. There's insights, shows you how many times you've been searched for in the last quarter. So he's come up in 42,000 searches, and someone clicks on that, and they're going to be able to call. Anyways, I'm not going to get into this too much, but the good thing is we created one of those free websites for him as well. He didn't want emails. He wanted the call to action to be call me. So just call me. So, and that's what we've done with him because it was a completely different kind of business. So it depends on your business. Now, if I go back in, so you've created your items. Remember I said this is the back end, happens to be of Square. They all look the same, whether you're in WooCommerce or any of them. They all look the same. You create an item and you put in the picture, the title, what type of item is it, physical or is it a electronic item, the price, how many you have in stock if you're checking your inventory, anyways. So now what? Okay, so now what is you're going to put that. You're going to make sure you've got the information correct, and then you're going to scroll down. Whoops! Each of them have the exact same thing that a lot of people forget to do in their items. Don't forget to fill out the SEO on each item. That would be the title of your item and the description, because you want your item, unless it's one of a kind maybe, but if you're selling a certain type of plant over and over again, and that you've created that plant, you want Google to be able to find it, okay? So that's what I mean about your SEO. Every item or product has its own SEO area, so don't forget that. So this is what it looks like after you've created it, and on the website on Square. So another thing you want to do, so you want to link onto Facebook. So here we didn't create a shop on Facebook for her, but all she does is she will do posts. You'll see it continuously. That's a wrap. She'll talk about easy meals and how to order it. And then she's got a link to her website, and from that, because a lot of her target market happens to be on Facebook, and they click on it and they go right to her shop and people buy right from the shop. Okay, so then we have this one, which is Tiny Greens. So I've clicked on the yucca mini vegetarian plant, or sorry, I didn't say that right. So this is the link. It automatically, like I said, each plant or each item you creates its own page. So you take the link from up here, and that's what you're putting in on Facebook, or that's what you're putting in on Google products, okay? So this is the plant. So you get the link, and then you put it on social. So on social, on Facebook, you add a shop. It's free to do. You just click on add a product. First time you go in, you're adding a product for the first time. Next time you go in, the word shop will be there on your Facebook business page. All you can add the product. It's going to basically just add the photo, the description, and the price, and the link back to that page on your website. So when someone clicks on it, it goes back to your website. So what you want to do, so as you can see, I'm going back to my website here. Now, when you do a post on Facebook, you can tag that product. So I'm doing a post, and I can click on tag, and I can tag the product. So when someone clicks on that, automatically goes to your website. Guess what Facebook owns? Facebook owns Instagram. So if you happen to have a target market that's under 35, and they are on Instagram, and they love your products as well, you can now go to Instagram, load that same picture, click on tag product, and you can tag the product on Instagram. So right from Instagram for free, they can buy your products as well. So we're finding all our clients, this is the steps. We decide which platform, we create the items, then we decide, okay, where is our target audience? Are they on Instagram or are they on Facebook? We create the Facebook shop, and then we start putting it out there. And how do we put it out there? So this would be putting it out there as a post on Instagram, and then I tag the product, and you'll see this little circle on products that are tagged. And then once it's tagged, you'll see a little shopping bag that shows up right there. And then you can take this post, as what I suggest you do on Instagram, and then click on this thing that looks like an airplane, and that will let you turn it into a story. So the post goes out, right, as part of your account. It goes out to those people that are following you on Instagram, and then hopefully they engage with it so they keep on seeing it. But the story will show up for 24 hours in their newsfeed, which is why I love stories. And guess what? You can also tag the story for free. Do that same. So when they click on the story, they can buy your product. If they click on your post, they can buy your product. But it all starts by creating that shop on Facebook. So really neat. Now, both Facebook and Instagram are coming out with more ways to create products. So just watch for that, and I'll be creating videos on that when they do that. So one thing you want to know as well is that you want to, as I said before, you want to go in and make sure you put on your the items, the SEO, fill in those details. Why? Because each of your pages would be optimized for Google then. So this is just showing you, if I'm searching for plants in Peterborough, it's coming up with her website because we've started optimizing her site. But what's really cool is if I put in mini yucca tree plants in Peterborough, her Facebook comes up. So that plant product I put on Facebook actually comes up. And I didn't actually realize it would come up that quickly. Came up immediately because I searched for this just a few days or a day after I put it on Facebook. So Facebook is indexing not just your website, but also those Facebook shops that you create. So that's a really powerful way to be found. Another one that's really powerful that I mentioned before is your Google listing. On your Google listing, you can, so this is me going into Kawartha TV and Stereo's Google listing. So of course you want to grab your own Google listing, go down to products, add a product, and in those adding the product, same way as you would have added a product on Facebook. You add a photo, a title, the price, a description, and the link back to that product that you created. So it all goes back to your website. So that's a really powerful way. And then these products stay with your Google listing. So someone sees your Google listing, that pinpoint on Google, your products are there. And this is what it looks like. The product, the name, and this is categories. Remember I talked about the categories on your website? What I forgot to mention is on Facebook and on Google, you can also create categories, which is great, and for your products, because that just helps Google know what you're all about. I sell these items. And so you can see here, if I look for Kawartha TV and Stereo's Google listing, I'm seeing here the products that I've uploaded on their listing. It's for free, part of, here's an ad, so you can see the ad, but these ones are for free down here. Okay, and then as in was that you want to add a coupon code to your e-newsletters, and each of these systems come with coupon codes. So you can see here, it's a newsletter we sent out to our EVPs for Kawartha TV and Stereo. So we happen to use Constant Contact. There are many different newsletters out there. A lot of these systems actually have the ability to send out emails to those people that are in your database in the actual Wix or Stripe or WooCommerce. So that might be another way. But I use Constant Contact, and in that I've gotten the coupon code from the website. I've added the coupon code. I've got a link here saying valued customers, enter this coupon code Dyson40 and you get $40 off, and they click on that, and we only offer that to those people that are our EVPs. And I have to tell you, those do well every time we send those out as well. So you got different ways to bring people in. Oh yeah, this is in closing, I apologize. Your secret weapon is your messaging. What I found with every client that has been doing well right now, they've really personalized how they're communicating to their business, to their potential clients through every social media platform. So every social media platform has the ability to send you a message. And so what they're doing is they're making sure that all the messages come through to one location, whether it's themselves or their customer service or me in some cases. And what they're doing through that is they are really interacting with their clients immediately and personally, and that has increased their respect from their clients to them and the trust. And in many cases, they're small companies like us where they're dealing with the owner, and people really like that. They go, wow, I'm dealing with the owner. This is kind of cool. So what I found is that a lot of these companies who have gone their e-commerce, put it out there through social and Google, have enabled the fact that all these people that might see it can ask them questions right through their messenger on all these platforms. So this is an example of a company that she was saying she's doing extremely well right now, and through COVID, and it's spilled over to when she's opening, and it's all been through Messenger on Facebook in her case. So it's very interesting. And then that's what these guys were saying too on Green Street. Their messenger has never been so busy, and it's been something that COVID has pivoted people to really communicate through messenger to businesses who have e-commerce and they're selling something online. So that's something that you really want to think about. And that's about it.
It's 12 noon. Sofie, I just want to say thank you so much. Every time I listen on one of your seminars, I am blown away with your level of knowledge and know-how. So thank you very much. I learn every single time I listen to you as well.
Thank you so much. Well, I learn from working with each of you guys every time. It's so fascinating.
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad. And everyone else, as I said, a survey will be coming out. If you could take 2 minutes and fill it out and send it back to us, that would be great. Watch our Facebook page for upcoming notifications. And happy Canada Day, everybody.